Hello, hello, Pete's Packs here, and we're back with Commander 2019, deck number 2. This is Primal Genesis, red, green, white. So let's see what we get here. So, face commander being Girid Conclave Exile. For all of you that are cringing for how I'm opening this package, this is the easiest way to open this thing, because this is before they did quick pulls. So we have an oversized face commander. I love these giant cards. They remind me of Vanguard cards, which I'm a big fan of. And this one is apparently very miscut as well. So my obsession with miscut cards kind of lucked out here. Very nice. Alright, so we've got this nice box. Has been damaged a bit by gravity, but can't really do much about that. Just how entropy works, I guess. Got a nice insert, which covers overview of the deck, commander rules, 2 ads, much like normal ones, or much like modern ones. Then we have a quick profile of Girid, Atla Polani, Marissi, and Tengrath, alternate commanders. Tengrath, of course, being one of the crew of the Weatherlight. At the bottom, we have insert to hold the deck, on the deck box, and our deck. So let's get into this and see what's in here. Okay. Ooh, they actually have the release tab on this one. I'm going to have to go through this one a little faster than normal, just because I have something I have to do shortly after this. And let's play some background music. Alright, we have Girid, Conclave Exile, 2 red, white, green, for 2/5, Legendary Human Shaman. When it enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 green Rhino creature token with Trample. Whenever Girid attacks, populate the token entering the battlefield. The token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Atla Polani, Nest Tender, 1 red, green, white, for 2/3, Legendary Human Shaman, 2 tap, create a 0/1 green egg creature token with Defender. Whenever an egg you control dies, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into the battlefield and the rest onto the bottom of your library in a random order. There was a dragon, I believe, that made eggs and let you sacrifice things. That was really hyped when this came out. Don't remember what it was though. Let's see. Marissi, Breaker of the Coil. 1 red, green, white for 5/4 Legendary Cat Warrior. Your opponents can't cast spells during combat. Ooh, that's pretty sweet. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, goad each creature that player controls. Very nice. Until your next turn, those creatures attack each combat if able, and attack a player other than you if able. Very nice. Keep in mind, if there's only one opponent left, they do still have to attack, but they don't get stopped from attacking you, so they still attack you. Then we have Heartpiercer Manticore token with dragon on the back. Angel of Sanctions token. Ooh, these would have been nice back in Omen Cat. With a horror on the back. Bird, 3/3 flying bird token with a sculpture on the back. It's interesting. 3/4 flying bird token with another sculpture. 3/3 beast token, always good to have for those of you that play Beast Within. It's a green one too. With a 6/6 worm token on the back. 4/4 beast with a 6/6 worm on the back. 3/3 centaur with an egg on the back. Egg. 10-10 Eldrazi. I wonder what that goes with. With an egg on the back. 4-4 Rhino with Trample. Very nice. With an egg on the back. Gargoyle. 3-4 Flying Artifact Creature Token. Interesting. With an egg on the back. Alright, let's see what else is in here. We have a Cliffside Rescuer. 1 and a white for 2-2. Core Soldier with Vigilance. Tap, sacrifice it. Target permanent you control gains protection from each of your opponents until end of turn. Protection, of course, being it can't be blocked, targeted, dealt damage, enchanted, or equipped by anything controlled by those players. Alright, Hate Mirage. 3 and a red for a sorcery. Choose up to 2 target creatures you don't control. For each of those creatures, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Those tokens gain haste. Exile them at the beginning of the next end step. Very nice. Voice of Many. 2 green for 3-3 Elf Druid. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each opponent who controls fewer creatures than you. Very cool. Scare Tiller. 4 mana, 1-4 artifact creature Scarecrow. Whenever it becomes tapped, choose one. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped, or return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Nice. Intangible Virtue. 1 and a white enchantment. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. Rock Egg. It's a bit of a throwback. There's a Rock Egg back in Arabian Nights that really good until it was errated. But 2 and a white for a 0-3 bird egg with Defender. Whenever it dies, create a 3-3 white bird creature token with flying. Keep in mind this also triggers off of Outlaw. Rootboard Defenses. 2 and a white, instant, populate. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Very nice. Tristani's Judgment. 5 and a white, instant, exile target creature, then populate. Beast Within. 2 and a green, instant, destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3-3 green beast creature token. Great removal in green. Colossal Majesty. 2 and a green, enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Very nice. Cultivate. 2 and a green, sorcery, search your library for up to 2 basic lands, reveal those cards, put one in the battlefield and the other into your hand. Battlefield tapped, of course, then shuffle. Druid's Deliverance. 1 and a green, instant, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to you this turn. Populate. I wonder why this one doesn't see play in Pauper Turbo Fog. Probably because the populate's irrelevant and it's a 2 mana fog. Elemental Bond. 2 and a green, enchantment. Whenever a creature with power 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This gets out of hand very quickly, especially if you're making tokens. Explore. 1 and a green, sorcery. You can play an additional land this turn, draw a card. Farseek. 1 and a green, sorcery. Search a library for plains, island, swamp, or mountain. Put them onto the battlefield tapped and shuffle your library. This does grab duals and triomes as long as they have basic land types that match this. Garrick's Pack Leader. Also keep in mind this does not grab forests directly. Garrick's Pack Leader. 4 and a green for 4-4 beast. Whenever another creature with power 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. Lots of draw effects in this. Very nice. Harmonize. 2 green, sorcery. Draw 3 cards. One of the best draw spells ever printed in green. Sakura Tribe Elder. It's Steve! 1 and a green. For a 1-1 Snake Shaman, sacrifice it, search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Was so much better with damage on the stack, but yeah, that was a long time ago. Slice and Twain. 2 green, instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment, draw a card. Speaking of damage on the stack, if you remember damage on the stack, leave a comment down below. Yeah, do you think it was good or bad that it was removed in 2010? Naya Charm. Red, green, white. For an instant, choose one, deal 3 damage to target creature, return target card from a graveyard to its owner's hand, tap all creatures target player controls. Very nice. Sundering Growth. Hybrid green, white. Instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment, then populate. Vitu-Ghazi Guildmage. green-white for 2/2 Dryad Shaman. 4 green-white. Create a 3/3 green Centaur treasure token. Or treasure token. Creature token. Oh, brain. Brain not braining brain, right. And then 2 green-white populate. Create a token that's a copy of a creature token you control. Lightning Greaves. This is a format staple, of course, for Commander. 2 mana artifact equipment. Equip creature has haste and shroud. Equip 0. Soul Ring. You all know what it does by now, but 1 mana artifact taps for 2. We have 2 planes, 3 planes. Commander's Insignia. 2 white enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1 for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone in this game. Ooh. It's a super glorious anthem. Doomed Artisan. 2 and a white for a 1/1 human artificer. Sculptures you control can't attack or block. At the beginning of your end step, create a colorless sculpture artifact creature token with this creature's power and toughness, are each equal to the number of sculptures you control. Very nice. Song of the World Soul. 4 white enchantment. Whenever you cast a spell, populate. Ooh, that's pretty wicked. A little expensive, but ooh, very good. Girid's Belligerence. X red sorcery. It deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. Whenever a creature dealt damage this way dies this turn, populate. Ooh. There's some cool stuff in here. Tectonic Hellion. 5 red for an 8/5 Hellion. Haste. Whenever it attacks, each player who controls the most lands sacrifices 2 lands. Nice. Full Flowering. XX green. Sorcery. Populate X times. That's pretty wicked. Orin Frostfang. 3 green for a 2/6 snow creature snake. Attacking creatures you control have Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That pairs really well with Fen the Marauder, I think it is. The one that whenever one of your creatures with Death Touch deals damage to a player, they get 2 poison counters. Selesnya Eulogist. 2 and a green for a 3/3 Centaur Druid. 3 and a green, exile target card from a graveyard, then populate. Or target creature card from a graveyard, then populate. That's pretty strong. Tangrath, First Mate. Hey, Tangrath is back. 2 red-green for a 5/5 legendary Minotaur Warrior. It can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Whenever an opponent attacks with 1 or more creatures, if Tangrath is tapped, you may have that opponent gain control of Tangrath until end of combat. If you do, choose a player or planeswalker that opponent is attacking. Tangrath is attacking that player or planeswalker. Oh, that's cool. And can be, I guess you'd have to modify the deck, but is a potential alternate commander. Idol of Oblivion, 2 mana artifact. Tap, draw a card. Activate only if you create a token this turn. That should not be a problem in this deck. 8, tap and sacrifice it. Create a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi creature token. Angel of Sanctions. This card was so good in Amonkhet. 3 white for a 3/4 creature angel with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until Angel of Sanctions leaves the battlefield. And then Embalm for 5 and a white. So you exile this card from your graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a white zombie angel with no mana cost. Interesting, it's no mana cost. Embalm only as a sorcery. See, I thought it kept the mana cost of that, but that may have changed at some point. Wingmate Rock. 3 white for a 3/4 bird with flying and a raid. Whenever it enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, create a 3/4 white bird creature token with flying. Whenever Wingmate Rock attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking creature. This was really good in Khan's block. Great way to stay alive, too. Dragon Master Outcast, another great card that's fantastic in Standard, also around the same time. I believe this was in Dragons of Tarkir. But for a red, you get a 1/1 human shaman. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 6 or more lands, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. This card is so much fun. Dargon. Belden of the Third Path. 1 red for a 2/3 legendary human artificer. 2 in a red, tap, create a token that's a copy of target creature card in your graveyard, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. It gains haste, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Now, one of my favorite things to copy with this is Sundering Titan. Because I'm a bad person. Well, I'm not a bad person. I'm a very mean player when it comes to Commander. Garrick, Primal Hunter. 2 green for 3 loyalty legendary planeswalker Garrick. +1, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. -3, draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. -6, create a 6/6 green worm creature token for each land you control. Great finisher. Also just a great card advantage engine. It can just draw you a bunch of cards, or it can sit there and pump out tokens. Great Ataphage. 5 green for a 7/7 insect with trample. When it deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of Giant Ataphage. I may have said Great Ataphage, Giant Ataphage. Soul of Zendikar. 4 green for a 6/6 avatar with reach. 3 green, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. 3 green, exile this from your graveyard, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Would you believe this is actually the worst of the souls, if I remember correctly? Tristani, Selesnia's Voice. Another very fun card when it was in Standard. Green, white for a 2/5 legendary Dryad. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. 1 green, tap, populate. This was in Return to Ravnica, or at least it was in that block. I'm pretty sure it was just in Return to Ravnica. Such a fun card at the time. Desolation Twin. For 10, you get a 10/10 Eldrazi. Whenever you cast a spell, create a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi creature token. Very nice. Hour of Reckoning. 4 white, convoke, destroy all non-token creatures. This was so good in Ravnica block. Ghazi Glare relied on that card very heavily. Phyrexian Rebirth. 4 white, sorcery, destroy all creatures, then create a XX colorless horror artifact creature token where X is the number of creatures destroyed this way. Hey look, it's Sunfall's great-grandfather. Flame Rush Rider. 4 in a red for 3/3 human warrior. Whenever it attacks, create a token that's a copy of another target attacking creature that's tapped and attacking. Exile the token at the end of combat. Then it has dash, 2 red. You may cast a spell for its dash cost. If you do, it gains haste, and it's returned from the battlefield to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. So, great mechanic there. Heart Piercer Manticore. 2 red for a 4/3 Manticore. When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, it deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. Embalm. 5 in a red. Very nice. Fresh Meat. 3 in a green, instant. Create a 3/3 green beast creature token for each creature put into your graveyard from the battlefield this turn. Great after a Wrath effect. Momentous Fall. 2 green, instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature. You draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power, then you gain life equal to its toughness. It's almost like Greater Good, but all upside. Rampaging Balance. 4 green for a 6/6 beast with trample. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may create a 4/4 green beast creature token. Great with all those draw engines that we saw earlier. Second Harvest. 2 green, instant. For each token you control, create a token that's a copy of that permanent. Very nice. Shamanic Revelation. 3 green, sorcery. Draw a card for each creature you control. Ferocious. You gain 4 life for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. Very nice. Also very fun back in Khan's block, which I believe was the last time this was in Standard. Swag Tusk. 4 in a green for a 5/3 beast. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 5 life. When it leaves the battlefield, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. There is an instant win combo with this card. And Worldfire. It is fun. I don't care what anyone else says, that is a fun combo. Amara Tandris, 5 green-white for a 5/7. Legendary Elf Shaman. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to creature tokens you control. Very nice. Growing Ranks, 2 and 2 hybrid green-white. Enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep, populate. Nice. Wayfaring Temple, 1 green-white for an XX elemental. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. When it deals combat damage to a player, populate. Mimic Vat. So many good combos with Mimic Vat out there. 3 mana artifact, Imprint. Whenever a non-token creature dies, you may exile that card. If you do, return each other card exiled with Mimic Vat to its owner's graveyard. 3, tap, create a token that's a copy of a card exiled with Mimic Vat. It gains haste, exile it at the beginning of the next end step. There's so many ways to break this. Soul Foundry, 4 mana artifact with Imprint. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile a creature card from your hand. X, tap, create a token that's a copy of the exiled card. X is converted mana cost of that card. Or is the converted mana cost of that card. Cinderglade. It's a mountain forest. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. Exotic Orchard. Taps to add 1 mana of any land an opponent controls could produce. Or 1 mana of any land that... yeah. Gargoyle Castle. Land taps for colorless, and then 5 tap and sacrifice it. Create a 3/4 colorless gargoyle artifact creature token with flying. This is probably going to be the first land you replace, to be honest. Sungrass Prairie. Filters colorless into green-white. Plains. So we already had 3. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7 plains in total. Mountain. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 mountains. Forest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 forests. Nice. Ash Barrens. Taps for colorless. Basic land cycling for 1. Pauper All-Star. Blossoming Sands. Another land you're probably going to replace pretty quickly. Enters tapped. When it enters, you gain a life. Tap for a green or a white. Boros Garrison. It is the red-white Karu. Enters tapped. When it enters, you return a land you control to its owner's hand. And then taps for red-white. Command Tower. Taps for your commander's color identity. Evolving Wilds. Tap and sacrifice it. Search your library for a basic land. Put it on the battlefield tap. Then shuffle. Just does what it does. Greypelt Refuge. Enters tapped. When it enters, you gain a life, and then you can tap it for a green or a white. Gruul Turf. It is the green-red Karu. We already went over that with Boros Garrison. Does the same thing, just taps for green-white. Jungle Shrine. It is the Naya Shard land. Or Wedge land. It's Shard. Yeah, because it's the original Allura Shards. Enters tap. Taps for red, green, or white. Very nice. Kazandu Refuge. Enters tapped. When it enters, you gain a life, and then taps for a red or green. Croson Verge. One of those really cool duels. Enters tapped, taps for colorless, and then 2 tap and sacrifice it. Search your library for a forest card and a plains card, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Keep in mind, this grabs duels, grabs triomes, all that good stuff, as long as it has the card type forest and the card type, or the card type plains, you can grab it with this. Myriad Landscape. Enters tapped, taps for colorless, 2 tap and sacrifice it, search your library for up to 2 basic lands that share a land type, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. So you cannot grab Waste with this, because Waste is not a land type, but you can grab, for instance, a Plains and a Snow-Covered Plains, because those are both plains. So, something to consider. Naya Panorama. Tap for a colorless, 1, tap, sacrifice it, search your library for a basic mountain, forest, or plains, and put it on the battlefield tap, then shuffle. Not quite as good as the duel, or not quite as good as a fetch land, but it'll do in a pinch. Rogue's Passage. Tap for a colorless, 4, tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Very nice. Then we have Rugged Highlands. Enters the battlefield tap. Tap. When it comes into play, you gain a life, and it taps for red or green. Selesnya Sanctuary. It's the green-white Karu. We went over that with Gruul Turf and Boros Garrison, but taps for green-white instead. Terramorphic Expanse, functional equivalent of Evolving Wilds. Tap and sacrifice it. Search your library for a basic, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Oh, good. And then an ad card with popular formats on the back. Very nice. Well, this was Primal Genesis, the second deck out of the Commander 2019 decks. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, so I can continue to, bring you cool videos like this. Yeah, I did dig this out of my collection and open this up, so yeah, why not drop a like or subscribe? Really helps us out. Really appreciate it. But yeah, until next time, stay awesome. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.